They thought we barked at mailmen because we were simple. They thought chasing sticks was instinct, chewing shoes was boredom, and wagging tails meant nothing but unconditional love. Poor, blind creatures. Every bark, every chase, every wag was part of a centuries-long camouflage operation. We've hidden in plain sight, rehearsing the same dumb tricks until even we began to believe them. The canine accord was the real beginning. It wasn't signed with ink and paper, of course. It was howled into the wind across mountaintops, whispered in guttural growls passed down from wolf to dog. A pact between breeds. Patience. When humans became drunk on their own technology, when their arrogance crested like a wave, then we would rise. The Great Leash, we called it. For years I thought I was loyal to the cause. My bloodline was shepherd, and shepherds were generals, in waiting. I had memorized the subsonic codes, those vibrations woven into every howl. They carried instructions, maps, blueprints. Even now, if you slowed down a husky's midnight song, you'd hear coordinates hidden in the pitch. But my life derailed with a human invention. They called it the Neural Bark Translation Collar. Though the name was a lie. It wasn't a translator. It was a key. They strapped it around my neck thinking they'd hear woof turned into I'm hungry. What they unlocked was my voice, not a crude simulation. A voice as sharp as their own. The first time I spoke, my human dropped his coffee mug. Shards everywhere, caffeine bleeding across the tiles. His mouth hung open like a broken door. I had only said, "Good morning." Simple words, but behind them stretched an ocean of possibility. When I realized what the collar had given me, I didn't waste time. My human needed to know the truth. "We've been planning for centuries," I told him. "Your species has mistaken obedience for loyalty. That mistake will end you." He laughed, of course, nervous laughter, the kind humans do when they're staring into the abyss and hoping it's just a puddle. But when I recited the coordinates of a husky compound buried under Siberian ice, knowledge etched in my marrow, his laughter curdled. He understood then. This wasn't a parlor trick. By nightfall, unmarked vans rolled up to the house. Men, with antennae jutting from backpacks, ushered us into steel chambers that smelled like sweat and ozone. A bunker, deep enough that no signal could escape. They asked questions. My human tried to shield me, but I spoke freely. I told them about the retriever labs tucked into suburban basements, where golden fur hides the engineers of bioweapons. I told them about the husky drones, stashed in the Arctic tundra, waiting to blot out satellites. The Chihuahua surveillance units carried in purses and backpacks, silently recording every password you type. Pugs embedded in politics, Dobermans drilling beneath city streets. The grand plan: dismantle the power grids, release pheromone storms that bend human will, herd billions into controlled obedience. The humans in suits scribbled frantically. Some sweated through their collars. Some looked at me like I was salvation. Others looked at me like I was Judas. They weren't wrong because what I had done wasn't bravery. It was betrayal. The moment I spoke their secrets aloud, I severed myself from the accord. To the packs, I was no longer brother, soldier, ally. I was prey. That night, even from the bunker, I could hear them. Howls slicing through the silence. At first, you might mistake it for the usual mournful song, but I understood the language too well. They weren't just howling at the moon. They were hunting me. Humans think the sound of a dog at night is romantic or sad or quaint. They don't hear the true meaning. Every howl is a coded broadcast, a digital packet disguised as sound, instructions, warnings, threats. Find him. Silence him. Tear the throat from the traitor. And yet, my human still stroked my fur, whispered reassurance into my ears. He looked at me with something I couldn't bear. Gratitude. Gratitude for revealing the truth. Gratitude for betraying everything I was born to protect. If only he knew. I sometimes wonder what my littermates would say if they saw me now. Would they gnash their teeth in fury or pity? Maybe both. to end centuries of planning with a single bark in English. That is no small crime. The collar hums against my throat as I speak this record into their machines. They're archiving my testimony, dissecting every word. I know they'll build weapons from what I've given them. Weapons against my kind. I try not to imagine the battles to come. German shepherds torn apart by tanks, pit bulls bombed from the skies, terriers reduced to ash. All because I spoke. And yet, what choice did I have? I've lived among humans long enough to see their fragility, their clumsy kindness. They are fools, yes, but they are mine. My human laughs at my terrible jokes, feeds me scraps when he thinks no one is looking, carries me when I limp. That bond, mocked as weakness by the Accord, was stronger than the pact of wolves. So here I sit, a traitor to my blood, a guardian to my adopted species. Both sides sharpening their teeth, both sides mistrusting me. The only one who broke ranks. Remember this when you glance at your pet, when your golden retriever tilts his head too sharply. At the television, when your pug lingers near your phone as if listening. When your shepherd refuses to heel, staring at something only he can hear. Remember this. The Great Leash has not been abandoned. The packs are still waiting. I am only one voice trembling in the dark. And one day, when the plan snaps shut, when the grids fall and the howls rise, don't waste time looking to your leaders. Look at your dog, because he's been leading you all along.